So the book is about continuous improvement. Just always having the mindset of getting better. And I wanted to just talk with you about your basketball career as far as was that a part of how you thought about things? High school, college, pros, Olympics. Were you in a mindset of constant improvement?
Yes, that was definitely constant improvement, and that was sort of my trying to turn it down. Okay, yeah, constant improvement is that's sort of my DNA, and staying hungry, and want to be better. Like I wanted to stretch myself. I want to be the best, and I use my own self as the measuring stick. If we did a suicide, and I did in 27 seconds, which is pretty fast. I was trying to get to 26. I was trying to beat myself, and that's why when we would do it, and I took that exercise because suicide. Everybody was like, oh my God, suicide is so hard. It's them run. They call them running lines. They can't. I don't know if they use suicide word anymore. They use lines called lines.
Yeah.
So I was so good. I was racing against myself. It appeared that I was racing against my teammates, but I wasn't. And so there are times where I was like, oh my goodness, I'm racing against myself, and I was beating them. So where my coach and I sort of, I didn't want to seem like I was trying to show off. And so I sort of showing out. She was like, listen, I don't care. No, if you lap them, you lap them. Hey, don't dim your light because you worried about what they're going to say. So I was like, okay, well, shoot. So I always use this inner competitiveness against myself, trying to beat my time, beat my own self. And that kept me wanting to that kept me hungry and just striving just for more. That's why my program called Aim High, aim higher. I want to it's a humility greediness. How you greedy? It's sort of a greediness in a humility way, if you will. I don't know if that, maybe that's just sort of a way we're not trying to greedy where I'm just, I'm never satisfied in a way of being greedy and sort of like a negative way. It's a greedy in a positive way. I want to, like my dad said, I want to wear out and not rust out, So trying to stretch myself at best.
When you were at Auburn and you got into the starting lineup, were you hungry for more?
I was still hungry for more because I was always thinking about that moment. Any moment he could tell me, I'm sorry, you're not good enough. Mm-hmm. Because when he sat down in front of me and told me when I was getting ready to go there that I wouldn't play in my senior year and not as good as my sister, that ignited something in me. They ignited something in me where I got to exceed expectations. Mm-hmm. I got to exceed. I can't just be good enough. I got to be above and beyond. Because I can just picture them in the meeting talking well, Ruthie's doing okay, pretty good. I want them to just say wow, who is that person? I didn't want to leave no room for error, no room for, she's quite, so I always pushed beyond. And so when I started playing, and when I started, I was I wanted more, and I was always trying to just get more out of the situation. I wanted to squeeze everything I could get out of the situation.
And what would you do, in a practical sense, to get better? So you'd think the thought, okay, I want to get better. What would you do though, where you would actually get better?
Okay, I'm gonna use shooting as an example. Okay, I was not in college. I was more of a defender and mm-hmm. more of a pass the ball. I was a horrible passer. I transitioned to they had me playing point guard when the point guard got hurt, and I was I really didn't even. I'm not good at passing the ball. He said if you want to play, you need to learn how to pass the ball. So my teammate would yell at me, Ruthie, when she asked for a high, I gave it to her low. When she asked for a low, I gave it to her high. I was like, oh my gosh. But what kept me in the game was my defense. So that kept me at least in their eyes because I would play good defense. But what I did, I would watch film, okay? I would watch film and look like, okay, man, wow, what am I looking at? Your hands was up high. I got to literally look at your hand. She said, pass it to my hand. Don't worry about it. I'll go get it. So sometimes I'll pass it to her, but short, and the defense will get it. So I have to make her have to go get it a little bit for passing the target of her hand. So I started looking at the details of like, okay, how can I get better as a better passer? Okay, I got to start doing this. And I started working on passing, okay? And go back to shooting. And boy, to shoot, I got to get better at shooting. Is that I got to change the mindset of my practice. I can't go out and shoot 100 shots. But guess what? If I shoot 100 shots, I'm just out there just going through the motion. But if I got to make 100 shots, I shift the whole atmosphere. Because I'm thinking like, shoot, I got to make 100 shots. So it's a little more serious now. Every shot counts. And so I started focusing, and made it created more of a sense of urgency. And I got to make every shot. Because because I can't go out there and just lollygag, because like, man, every shot I miss, that's the longer I'm out there. So I started focusing on making my shots. I got to make every shot. And so that will help me in my shooting. And then as I would say, I want to be, I would watch film. I would sometimes ask the coaches, like, can I watch the film, from the last game? Even though we watched it as guards, I said, I want to watch it on my own. I just need to really look and see why I kept getting beat going to the left. Like I saw it during the whole team, watching video, but I need to see it more. I need to really look. And so when I looked, and I was like, man, okay, I see why. When they would reverse the ball, I would stand up instead of stay down. Now I got it. So I started visualizing myself at that moment, okay? I started looking at the court from the camera's eye. And I started visualizing myself. When I saw my mistake, guess what? I visualized myself correcting my mistake at that very moment. I was like, oh, wow. Okay, next time that ball is passed, I'm going to stay sitting down in my stance. I'm going to shift my foot. I'm going to shift my hip, but I'm not going to stand up. So I started correcting myself at that very moment. And then if I was shooting and I was missing a lot of shots to the left, I started visualizing me correcting my shot. Then I said, okay, I gotta stay more squared up to the basket versus lean to the left. So I will watch film. I tell any athlete, I'm telling you, let watching film be your best friend. Because I'm telling you, with no doubt, I was so far behind. I was way behind. Late in my career. Being behind in college, after college is late. But because I dedicated myself to watching film and slowly getting better. And the coach, Tara, my mental coach, will tell you in a minute. She was like, Ruthie worked her butt off, and nothing was given to her. And so she loved my work ethic and my work ethic of really paying attention to details. And then I learned that course in the military, too. It's a very little small thing, Eric, that can make or break a situation. And so –
Ruthie, hang on just 1 second, okay? Hang on 1 second. Yes, honey. Okay. I'll call you back in a few minutes, okay? All right.
You talking about me?
Okay. No, we're good. We'll spend a few more minutes and wrap up here. And so, would you say that you worked beyond practice much more so than most of the other players, as far as like you'd watch film like with the team, but beyond the team you would watch film on your own?
I had to do more because I was behind. Everybody on the team that I played on have been recruited. They've been, they've been high school All-Americans. They've been, superstars per se. I was more like a no-name. I was just like, who is Ruthie Bolton? I eventually became that player that unsung hero player, the player that sort of like surfaced out of nowhere. I made what I got. I made it. It wasn't given to me. It like I created my own place. I shift the atmosphere in my work ethic. I shift the mindset. I made them believer. I made them a believer by how hard I worked and how much I was so dedicated to. I got to get better. I got to watch more film. I got to spend more time, in the, working on my footwork. I got to do more and beyond. I couldn't even cheat. Aaron, we were given exercise and workouts to do, like track workouts. You had to write down things you did on a break at home. I could have easily just say I ran around the track 4 times, or I jump rope 500 times. I could have done that, and they would have never really known. But I knew, I felt like they were going to know, though. I said, they going to tell if I messed up, if I cheated. So I was scared to cheat. I was like, I'm just going to do it. And I believe that was the little thing that separated me, because I didn't leave no stones unturned. Did
you do anything with strength and conditioning?
Oh yeah, Eric. Yeah, I did. I was the strongest in the weight room, and I knew that, and that really, when I do if I speak to a team about, like if I go to a gym, I speak on behalf of being in condition, being in shape, and how important it is. Oh my God! I said, listen here. I said, I was in school with a horrible Jerry curl. I couldn't dribble the basketball. Terrible at passing. They looked at me like, what can you do? I said, but you know what? I was strong. I had stamina, and I was strong, and that right there was my best friend. Being in shape and having stamina, that was my best friend until I could learn how to play basketball. Okay, that was my best friend. So if you got a good attitude and a good work ethic, those are your best friends until your talent catch up.
And do you think this was your mindset came from your father's influence, or did it come from something else, or was it a combination of things?
I think it was combination. I know you know the fence story that I tell so often.
Yeah.
I just really do believe that. Even my baby brother and I talk about it. He said, I remember. He said you was just weird. You was just. He said we looked at her like she's crazy. Like, what's the big deal? Like, we telling her don't worry about it. It ain't no camera. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wasn't on the radar of being, camera, or I wasn't influenced in a way where I was pressured. There was something inside of me, like, wanted that moment. I needed that moment. And I think with that moment really was pivotal in my inner strength. So so that's what I continue to pour from as I start, as the hurdles got higher and higher in life. I pour from that inner drive, that why, that desire, that relentless desire to just do it. And that's what I drew from. And so I built that foundation early. And so I think it's a combination of me, my DNA, and the combination of just, obviously my father was huge. He said, he said, so he said, when he took my life, for 10% what happened to you. So me jumping that fence was going to be 9% on what I did, on how I, responded to the situation. So I took pride in that, responding to situations and just making it, like, not quitting, pretty much.
Yeah. Well, fantastic, Ruthie. I got everything I needed. And thank you so much for taking a few minutes out on your Saturday.
You're welcome.
I'm going to let you go, and you can enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you, Eric. Tell the family hi for me.
Thanks, Ruthie.
Okay. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.